Good morning. Good morning. Καλημέρα, καλημέρα. Καλημέρα σε όλους. Να παίξουμε λίγο το βιντεάκι. Can we play the video, please? So, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure and gratitude that I stand before you today at the Delphi Economic Forum 2024, ready to embark on a dynamic exploration of the shipping industry under the theme, Riding the Wave, Capturing Opportunities in the Greek Merchant Fleet. Before we delve into the insightful discussions that lie ahead, I must express my sincere gratitude to Simeon Tsomokos, Yannis Thomatos, and his esteemed team for orchestrating yet for 9th year of this exceptional forum. It is an honor to be invited for the 7th consecutive year to participate in this innovative forum. First time in this room, in the round table of the young leaders, and the last 5 years by organizing shipping panels. I'm Danae Bezadakou, CEO of Navigator Shipping Consultants and constant founder of Yes Forum. And we will discuss today about the geopolitical implications to its role in technological innovation and environmental sustainability. But before we explore these topics, let us first reflect on the fundamental importance of shipping. Shipping is not just a sector. It is the lifeblood of global trade and commerce. It connects nations, fuels economies, and touches the lives of billions, often unnoticed. Despite its profound impact, shipping is invisible until disruptions occur. It preserves through crisis, whether it be a global pandemic or geopolitical tensions, ensuring that goods reach their destinations and economies remain afloat. Shipping did not stop even for a minute during COVID. When I heard yesterday our president, Mr. Lemos and Mr. Liras, pointing out how family-oriented we are and how important are human beings for all of us, I could not agree more. Greece, with its rich maritime heritage spanning over 2,000 years, stands as a beacon of excellence in the shipping world. Despite comprising only 0.15% of the world's population, Greece commands an impressive fleet of 5,520 vessels, or better, floating factories, accounting for 21% of the world's fleet in deadweight, 59% of the European. 73% of the bulk carriers European fleet, 80% of the tankers. Only 3 countries move 40% of the worldwide trading: China, Japan, and Greece. Greece is the only non-Asian country in the top 5. And more than 200,000 families are having to do with shipping in our country. We mention very often about shipping and tourism, but of course we have more sectors that we're seeing in this forum that can be empowered. Of course, the young talent, by empowering the education and by bringing shipping into our schools, is some of the of the steps that we have done, and more than 300,000 students have been informed about the history of shipping and about how important shipping is to us. And now, let's move to our discussion, because I have very important panelists, and I'm very, very happy that with most of them we have been in Delphi and we cooperate. Next to me, my president, I also have a president of the Propeller Club, Kostis Fragoulis, and CEO of Franman. Then Stamatis Tsantanis, Chairman and CEO, Synergy Maritime Holdings Corp. For one more year, welcome, Stamatis, it's very important to be here. John Kodzias, I think first time in Delphi, Projects and Finance, Exclusive Ship Brokers, and President of the Hellenic Ship Brokers, and co-governor at Propeller Club. Alexandros Papadimitriou, I think also first time for you in Delphi Economic Forum, Strategic Development Project Manager at Gazlo, Greece. Welcome, Alex. And another Alex that we have been together in since the first time that we organized the panel in shipping here in Delphi. Alex Hadjipateras in the Dorian LPG, of course, Managing Director of the Dorian LPG Management Corp Greece. All of you, welcome. And I will start with the questions, because it's very important to go into the discussion. Stamati, how does the essential role of shipping in global trade and commerce often go unnoticed, despite its profound impact on economies and everyday life?
Thank you, Danai, and good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here. This great event, this amazing historical site. So, shipping is, I believe, the so-called silent facilitator. You know, whatever happens in the world, you know, we have wars, you have disruptions, you have pandemics, you have all that. Shipping is, you know, the industry that provides goods, services, raw materials, energy to the global population. So, you know, the world needs to go around no matter what. So, shipping is what provides all these services, raw materials, construction, infrastructure. So, you know, when everything is fine, nobody notices, you know, how self-evident and how for granted we take the fact that everything is available to us freely, of course, subject to economic conditions. But, you know, shipping is the industry that provides for all that, you know, provides for a lot of consumer goods to be available for consumption, raw materials for infrastructure and growth of the economies, and energy for the world to go around, you know, planes to fly and cars and all that. So it's kind of, you know, an indispensable part of the global supply chain and life itself as it stands. So we tend to underestimate and we tend to take for granted the fact that so many things are available to us with such easiness, no matter the conditions, no matter the difficulties, no matter what's happening in the world. Again, wars, pandemics, disruptions and all that. Shipping, and of course Greek shipping, always finds ways and is agile to provide all that to the society, to the Earth society.
And let's not forget that with tourism, we have seen that because of airplanes not flying, we did not have tourists in our hotels. We were empty, although, however, shipping went on without any problem. We had many problems, but we seem that we don't have any problems, and we adapted better than anybody else in the world.
Yeah, let's not underestimate that. You know,
of course, and the seafarers.
Let's not take that for granted. Yes,
and the seafarers, that we owe them whatever has happened, and that they move the world go around, because they must be critical workers of this world, and we have to mention to them in a good way every day. With the Greek word naftosini, like we did in Poseidon, and like I also do in Yes Forum, because it's very important, but we also have the cluster, Kostis Fragoulis, and is Greek shipping solely limited to ship owning and ship management companies, or does encompass a broader maritime cluster? How extensive is this maritime cluster, and how many individuals are employed into this, and the opportunities that arise?
Thank you, Danai, and good morning to everybody. We should not really differentiate the ship owning and ship management from the cluster, because Actually, shipowning is the backbone of the maritime cluster. But in order to address your question, I would like to differentiate and leave shipowning outside. Of course, we have to say that shipowning is our big success story. It's been number one for more than 4 decades, since I think 1981. We are controlling more than 400 million deadweight. This is about 30% higher than our big competitor, who is China, about 65% from Japan. And we've seen the numbers before, 20% of, we control 20% of global trade, 6% of European. It's an amazing story, and of course, a strong shipping needs a strong cluster, and vice versa. I would categorize the cluster into services and into industry. If I start from services, I would say that in this area we're doing very well. We're very competitive. By services we mean, of course, brokers, lawyers, insurance, finance. This is a part of the cluster that is very competitive. Where we see a lot of challenges and great potential, in my opinion, of course, is the industrial side, which there are so many opportunities, and I think in the next 10 years we'll see many things happening, and it's up to us, business people, and of course the government, because the government has to give initiatives, has to give incentives for this to pick up. You asked me before how many people are employed in the cluster. I think roughly we could say between 85,000 to 90,000. And going to the examples that you asked about the cluster and where we can see development and progress, of course I'm really bullish about the shipyards. We've seen great things happening recently with the 3 major yards, Syros, Elefsina, and Skaramaga. Ship repairing is back, and this is very good news. And I think the next dream and goal is shipbuilding, which I think will come. Let's not forget that in the 60s, 70s, 80s, great ships were being built in Greek shipyards, especially Skaramagas and Elefsina, of course. And I think this we can see repeated. Maybe we must, this time, we must focus a little bit and specialize in certain types of ships. It's very difficult now these days to compete Asian yards in cargo ships. So there are type of ships that we can really focus and become very competitive, and the Greek economy needs this. Apart from that, of course, I want to say that even smaller industries like the small pleasure boats market is something that we've seen recently miracles happening with, and I'm going to refer to 2 shipyards, Ripco and Technohal, which 15 years ago were completely out of the picture in international markets, and now they are exporting heavily, and they have become not only equal but even better than most of the brands that before were market leaders. So there's a lot of potential in the cluster, and we have to really focus and work towards this direction in order to see this. The Greek economy needs this. Also, I want to make a small reference to the makers, shipbuilding equipment makers, which this also, we've seen very good examples of great Greek brands exporting now to Korea and China, and we can see a lot of potential there too. And of course, this has to be backed by the shipbuilding activity.
I fully agree, because we're building one vessel every 4 days in China, one every 5 days in South Korea, and one every 6 days in Japan.
I think roughly we could say that Greek ship owners built one ship every 3 days.
Every 3 days. So this is amazing, and around 200,000 families have to do with shipping, not directly, and this is very important, with the blue economy, because shipping is the blue economy. It's not only shipping. It has to do with the blue economy. So it's very, very important. Of course, we will be having, I was part of organizing one more panel with organizations, and the chairman of the Skaramaga shipyards will be there, and he will explain about what will happen. I will go now to John Kogias. I will pass the microphone to John Kogias. How does the world dominant position of Greek shipping impact specifically Greece in social, economic, and international relations terms? Because, you know, we're hearing very often with the people around us that, what are you, where are you? They believe that shipping is something different than the Greek, you know, the Greek society. And we are very, very part of this Greek society, and we love Greek society. So please tell us.
And I thank you very much for the invitation, for the opportunity, and of course addressing this very important issue, because I would say that shipping is integral to Greece's national identity. I think this is something that symbolizes resilience, entrepreneurship, and the spirit of exploration. This is, I think, very, very, very important key words about Greek shipping. The Greek fleet and the flag and the Greek know-how of running and operating ships, I think it is a source of pride for the country. I'm very proud. I'm very proud being part of this shipping industry for more than 35 years. As a broker, we have to be very, 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 very good. We have to be excellent, because we are next to the best. This is something very important. It's a very big weight on our shoulders. Number one position and statistics, they mean something, but they mean more to us as a nation. Because you mentioned, Danai, very, very rightfully, that, you know, we have a very small percentage in population, but we are the dominant nation in shipping. And we have done this through hard work, through, I would say, excellence, because you cannot maintain this position if you're not excellent, if you don't excel. And
through our captains that they were traveling all over the world and they brought it back.
Definitely, it's seamanship, it's naftosini, a very important word that we have used very, very, very recently, and I think it makes a big impact. And we owe a lot. We owe a lot to the seamen, and we owe everything, I would say, to the people who work on the ships. 1.8 million seafarers worldwide, 24/7. They don't stop. They don't have any breaks because the weather is bad, because the workload is heavy. No, it's a job that has to be done. And the seafarers have brought us to where we are today. I don't want to touch the subject that we have less Greek seafarers, which we would like to have more, but I think that what is very important to keep is that we have a strategic importance as a country, as a location, as a nation. We are in the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa, and we are a vital hub for all international maritime trade. 90% of all trade goes through shipping, and our position should bring us a very strong voice worldwide, and much more in Europe as well, because controlling more than 60%, 2 out of 3 ships in Europe are controlled by our compatriots. And I think that brings us, having a very strong voice, and we could be much stronger in terms of lobbying. This is another issue. Again, I'm just bringing topics. I'm not going to elaborate more on this, but I think what is very important also is the social impact. The success of Greek shipping families has led to the emergence of shipping dynasties, and they have wielded a very important influence in the Greek society. We have seen that over decades, and it continues, and it's stronger. So many institutions, so many families that engage in philanthropic activities, supporting cultural institutions and education and community development. Very important also the education factor, that ship owners have invested in education. We need, and you know much better from your activities than I, which I commiserate, is excellent what you're doing and what you're providing back to the society. You're generating a future by educating the future.
This is very important. Thank you very much. But we have to say also that the Union of Greek Shipowners are already giving many scholarships to young people, and many of us as organizations, we try to empower this, and of course also to the society, to the health, by helping when the country is in crisis, with Mati, with Thessalia, with all these crises.
I left for last the social impact and the social benefit and the social awareness, which is very important, and sometimes it goes unnoticed because many people want to be unnoticed, which is, again, on the right direction.
From your statistics, the 74,000 vessels will become around 150,000 the next 20 years, and the around 2 million seafarers will become 4 million seafarers. So there is a great prospect also for the young people, because the 8 billions will become 10 billions in this world. So it's important. Alex Katsipateras, I would like to ask you now for the young people, because we are talking a lot about the next shipping generation. So do you believe that our sector is attractive to young people? In the globalization international context, who and how can we make it more appealing to new generations?
Thank you, Denai. It's great to be back, and hi everyone. It does concern me still that shipping has public relations image issues, I believe. I mean, it's wonderful to be here, talk about shipping and celebrate all the accomplishments. But if you speak to a young person who isn't aware of the sector or doesn't have a connection, I think that historically they feel that it can be very closed off industry with sort of family-run companies. These have changed over time, more public companies. But I think it's important to know that still a recent Ernst & Young study said that 44% of young children here in Greece wouldn't pursue a career in shipping at sea. And I think it's up to us, through work like with the YES Forum, to educate the young generation and show them a way into shipping. And one of the ways to do this is to increase diversity, both at sea and also on the shore side. The Global Maritime Forum has made a big effort to do that by doing a pilot project called the All Aboard Alliance, which we're participating in. And another key area to do this is to highlight some of the transparency and improvements that have been made in shipping over time and how there's been more inclusiveness. So I know shipping is a pillar of the Greek economy. It's about 8% of the direct GDP. And as Kostis said, we have over 80,000 professionals working there. But I think we do have work to do to open the industry more. And also at sea, to highlight a lot of the benefits and the improved connectivity. People can speak with their families more easily. People have shorter contracts. People have better benefits. So in particular, with regard to the Greek seafarers, I would like to see that highlighted more, and more investment in the maritime academies to bring them up to speed and put them on par with, you know, we are a #1 nation. We should have the #1 academies as well.
You're very right. And this is the reason why we're issuing a book in May. It's going to be the first book that's going to be in the bookstores, in the Greek bookstores, about shipping, προς θάλασσα μεριά. And we think that it's very, very important to start from the schools, you know, to empower this and to tell them that it's not their last choice to go into shipping, but it must be the first choice because they love shipping like we love it. And let's go a little bit now, Alex, to the environmental question, because this is also part of it. What are some common myths surrounding the environmental impact of the shipping industry, and how do these myths compare to the reality of the industry's efforts towards sustainability and innovation? As we have heard yesterday also from Mr. Lemos, that we have a very modern, very, very modern fleet for this modern world.
Thank you, Danai, and it's an honor to be here. It's my first time in Delphi, and being here with these wonderful people, it's truly an honor. Thank you. So myths about shipping, I think there's quite a few, but I'm just going to talk about the 3 main ones. And I think the main myth about shipping's environmental impact is not its size, but rather its quality. And most people here will be aware, be able to find that shipping is responsible for 3% of global emissions. But that is a number without context. And I looked it up. Germany is 1.8%. So shipping is nearly twice the emissions from Germany. And if you just look at the number, it sounds big. But in reality, shipping emits 3 to 8 grams of CO2 per ton mile. So this is moving 1 ton of cargo 1 mile. Trucks emit 80 grams, so that's 16 times more. and air freight emits 435, so that's more than nearly 90 times more. So I'm not saying this to say that we shouldn't be doing our part, but putting things in context, shipping transports 80 to 90% of global trade, as we heard just a little bit earlier. But within the transport sector, it is only responsible for 10% of the emissions. So what I'm trying to say is that you need a lot of effort and a lot of time to take what is already very economically and CO2 efficient to make it more efficient. And the reason why I say it takes a lot of effort is the second myth, because a lot of people may think that decarbonizing shipping is simple, it's easy, it's straightforward, but in reality it's really not, because we are subject to so many international regulations, so many different countries. Each ship may visit a number of countries during its life, and even though we all agree that decarbonization is something that needs to happen, there's a lot of debate about how we should do this, and different jurisdictions are making their own rules, and what this is creating more than anything is uncertainty. It's creating risk, it's creating lack of clarity, and when a ship owner is looking to make an investment in an asset with an economic life of 20 or 30 years, if you don't have clarity, you need to wait. You need to understand the context of what you're going into before you do that. And the final myth, I think, because a lot of people will say, but Alex, there's a lot of containers and cruise ships and individual ships that are decarbonizing, they're doing it, methanol, ammonia, whatever it is. But I think the last myth is that shipping is one consolidated industry. But in reality, it's more like 10 or maybe more different sectors, wearing a huge overcoat and pretending to be one industry. Because within each different sector, you have very different trading patterns, technical needs, commercial arrangements. And just because something worked for one project or one company or one sector, there's absolutely no guarantee that it's going to work anywhere else. And as we know, Greek ship owners more than anyone, they see the opportunity. They want the competitive advantage that decarbonization will bring. But we don't know how to deliver this. What is going to be the fuel? What are going to be the benchmarks that we need to beat in order to make this a reality?
So many dilemmas that make us to work closer with the young generation, because there is a point, you are part of the young generation, of course, but there is a point that came that none of us know what will happen after 10, 15 years, and I think that it's the first time that happens in shipping. And because we're having 9 minutes, not even 10, but I will close, I want to make the last questions to all of you, because we want to give attention to the Greek shipping and how important it is. Kostis, shipping in Greece plays a specific and unique societal and economic role, as we mentioned. Could you elaborate from your position?
Well, shipping is in our DNA. It's an integral part of our society. I don't think there's a Greek family that does not have a member who is related to shipping in some way. Starting from the economy, it's the second most important pillar of our economy. It contributes about 14 billion every year. This is about 7%. For me, it's the most important sector of the economy, but that's in numbers, it's second. And the contribution also of cash inflows to the economy are huge. For 22, it was about 21 billion. The decade 2012-2022, it was about 148 billion towards our balance of payments. So these are really important numbers and figures that are very important for our shipping. Now, regarding society, we have to say that I don't think that any other stakeholders from other industries have contributed so much to the Greek society as much as the ship owners, who invest back to the society in many different forms. Let's start from the donating side. We have here the president. Recently, they gathered 50 million for the people of Thessalia to support. These are great initiatives. A lot of support from the Union of Greek Ship Owners and Synenosis. We have to highlight this. And of course, we have all these foundations like the Niarchos, who contributed more than 2 billion. Only the cultural center was worth 650 million. I think it's the biggest single-hand donation ever made in Greece. The Onassis Foundation with the Cardiοχειρουργικό Κέντρο. Latsis, Laskaridis Foundation has donated 5 vessels to the Hellenic Navy in the recent years.
Martinos family.
Martinos family, it goes on. So I don't think we can stop adding names. Now also, apart from the donation side, there's the business side where you have a lot of investments coming in different sectors, in the media, in the hotels, in the airlines, in tourism. Let's say the Hellenicon project right now, which is an 8 billion euro worth of investment, the biggest shareholder in Lambda is shipping family. So the contribution is huge.
Shipping brings money in Greece. Stamati, what emerging technologies, because it's important also the digitalization and revolutionizing, the shipping industry, and how are they reshaping traditional practices to enhance efficiency, safety, and environmental sustainability? Don't know how you can do it in 1 minute. It's not easy.
That's a great question. I'll try and be as quick as possible. I'm pretty sure that there will be a lot of revolutionary ideas, and there are some very good ideas in the pipeline right now. And of course, we tend to participate in all the innovation. One thing that we need to be careful here is that we need to have smooth transition. You have like 57, 60,000 ocean-going ships right now. You cannot replace all of them, but you can make the existing fleet way more efficient. We have done that, and we have proven to be one of the leaders in this kind of innovation. We tend to upgrade all of our existing vessels quite a lot. We now participate in we are the only Greek shipping company to participate in an EU-funded project for hydrogen and all that. So we try to innovate, and we try to make the ships way more efficient. Recently, one of our 2006 built ship was upgraded at such a point that the energy efficiency was improved by almost 25%. So there's no need to, try to reinvent the wheel and try to disrupt or ruin existing things when you can improve the existing technologies and existing ships very substantially. That's all from my side.
It's very, very important, and technology goes with shipping only if technology wants to follow shipping the way we do for thousands of years running the world. Yanni, the audience here in Delphi Economic Forum is not only shipping, there are also institutions and from all business sectors. What you would like to share with them and leave today from this room, having in mind about shipping? Again, in less than 1 minute.
In less than 1 minute. I will try to make it even less than 30 seconds than shipping is adaptive and resilient. I think this is the 2 words that I can use. We know how to adapt, we know how to maintain our presence and be strong, and we know how shipping can always avoid major disruptions, whether these are geopolitical or any other disruption that we have faced in the past. We saw how the COVID disrupted the supply chain and how shipping kept cargoes moving. You said very rightly, tourism stopped, shipping didn't stop. So adaptive and resilient.
Very important, and thank you very much. And another thing is that even here in Delphi, they believed in shipping, because 5 years before we did not have panels. I remember myself and the father of Alex and Mr. Gramenos to run the first panels, and now you see that we have almost a whole day of shipping. So this is very important also for such an important forum. And this year we also have for first time the World Economic Forum with us, and I'm very happy for this. Alex, with the fuels, we will make it happen. We will find the solution. Again, less than a minute.
Again, less than a minute. If you know the answer to that question, it's worth a lot of money. I think the answer is yes. The question is, how long will it take? Because this is the limitation, and at the end of the day, we're in logistics. and you need to think about the logistics of making an impact. And if you want 100,000 cargo ships above 100 gross tons to change to new fuels, you're going to need 30 to 60 years, assuming you don't want more ships. So it's going to take time. And I think this is the most common maybe discrepancy that people don't see. It's not that we don't want to do it, it's that it's impossible to deliver this in the timelines that are being imposed.
And the people that will find the solution must be part of this sector, because they have 90% in their shoulders of the worldwide trading in a world of 70% with water. Alex, the last question. You have 18 seconds. Could you name the biggest opportunity and the biggest challenge shipping will face the upcoming year?
There are a lot of opportunities with, it's cliche, but AI, smart shipping, new investment, venture capital in shipping. This year, Posidonia will have a panel or a day on venture capital and all the startups, of which many Greek companies have raised a lot of money. And I think the challenge is how to synchronize the standards and who will pay for all these new fuels. This is a big challenge.
Thank you very much. So we will be here, I think, next year, if also Delphi agrees. Thank you very, very much for listening to this discussion, and I hope that you have more info. I would like to thank Kostis, Stamatis, Yannis, Alex, and Alex for being here with me and running this panel for one more year. Thank you very much.